if you can come here to this space that I'm circling around with words, you'll enter into this ineffable space, and that is enlightenment. I can only circle around this ineffable truth. You need to enter into it, abide in it, and let go of your concepts of it. So I've spoken to quite a few of the Wild Satsang Non-Duality club members to this point, and it seems like the most common hang-up for folks is the perspective that you're searching for something within an object or within yourself, and that's definitely not what this is. It's not that the self is deep within. It's not that the space of enlightenment is hiding behind the world as if it's separate from it, but rather wholeness and enlightenment is shining as you and as the world and as all things. Enlightenment is the discovery of this singular luminosity that illuminates all things. Wholeness, or the enlightened state, has seemed to, or appears to, contract itself through individual identities in order to view itself from different perspectives. That's a story written upon what's actually happening. What's actually happening is there never was any contraction. The energy of wholeness is already always how this is. Perhaps that sounds dismissive to the personal perspective and the experience that most humans experience themselves as. And I don't mean to be dismissive here. But if you're to be rescued, you need to see the illusory as illusory. You need to recognize this simple fact that what is already whole. And it can look like anything. And in fact, it does, at present, look like everything. And the present is fully whole, fully enlightened already. The simple recognition of what already is, and full acceptance of what already is, as it is, with no stories written upon it, is the enlightened state. And the enlightened state is really a misnomer, because it's the stateless state. It's not a state that comes and goes. It's always what is. If there's an apparent contraction, then that is what is. And that is wholeness. Perhaps what's necessary then to release the felt sense of contraction or the felt sense of suffering, the felt sense of identification with a finite vantage point, and therefore the illusion of the finite self or small self, is the full embrace of what is. And the mind says, well, what if there is suffering? What if there is something I don't want to be? Well, if something is that you don't want it to be, that is the definition of suffering. What would happen then if you fully embraced what is? If there's negative emotions, what would happen if you fully embrace those negative emotions as the representation of wholeness? These felt senses of contraction can't maintain their illusory appearance while being fully embraced. If you can fully embrace these quote-unquote negative appearances, these negative emotion states, fully go all the way into them and embrace them, accept them as a representation of this wholeness, what happens? What happens to them? I can tell you, but you need to discover this in your direct experience for there to be any change or effect. For even the changeful to be seen as a representation of the changeless, to see that which is bound by time as an appearance or representation of the timeless, to see that which is bound by personal perspective and by seemingly apparent finite form to be expressions of the boundless, formless, infinite. If you can come here to this space that I'm circling around with words, you'll enter into this ineffable space, and that is enlightenment. The full embrace of the mystery of aliveness, the full embrace of awareness as the mysterious present, the full embrace of now as the representation and embodiment of the timeless. I can only circle around this ineffable truth. You need to enter into it, abide in it, and let go of your concepts of it. In order to enter into this wholeness, in order to enter into enlightenment. It is already this way. If you have any more questions, I invite you to either hop on a free call or post in the comments. Wild Satsang Non-Duality Club is for all those apparent separate identities, providing a permission slip to fully embrace what is, and therefore enter into and reclaim the wholeness that was never lost. All my love.